My journey of exploration into the Phantasms began in earnest when I found the empty Phantasm shell. The mysterious mollusk-like shell has since led me down multiple strange and untrodden paths in an attempt to identify and classify these creatures. Let's talk about what we know about these phantasms, starting with the description of the empty Phantasm shell. Empty invertebrate shell that is said to be a familiar of a Great One. The Healing Church has discovered a great variety of invertebrates, or phantasms as they are called. Thanks to Reddit user Thaw2501, we identified a variation in the translation of the Japanese word. Google translates it to genie. This slightly changes the dynamic between the phantasms and the Great Ones. In the West, we identify familiars with the helpers of witches or pagans that appear as pets like cats, dogs, ravens, or even toads. I doubt in the East that these same connotations exist. We also know that phantasms are augurs of the Great Ones, from the augur of Abritus item. A literal definition of augur on dictionary.com describes ancient Roman officials charged with observing and interpreting omens for guidance in public affairs. However, when used as a verb, an augur is something that foreshadows or predicts something. In this case, they foreshadow the appearance of a Great One. As an example, the augur of Abritus phantasms signal the existence of Ebritas. The phantasms lured across the fishing hamlet signal the eventual encounter with Kaz. Before we move on, let's disprove some theorized candidates for the phantasm family. First, the appendages on the Madman set. The Madman set reads, "The appendages draped across them are said to be a kind of protective charm, or at least that is what these lost souls believe with all their hearts." The description specifically mentions that this is an appendage or part of another creature. It mentions neither phantasms nor invertebrates. However, I believe we can disprove that they are themselves phantasms simply by determining their source. Here is the Madman set. Notice how the appendage wraps from the shoulder to the right arm. These are the appendages of the snail women. The fact that the Forgotten Madman has acquired one of these appendages from the snail women and is wearing it in the same way indicates to me that perhaps he is trying to emulate them to gain insight into the Great Ones. Or it is entirely possible he is simply mad. Note that those who held this theory aren't completely wrong, but we will get to that. Next up, the Kaz parasite. We cannot really disprove that this is not a phantasm. However, we will show the lack of connection between the two. The Kaz parasite reads, "This atypical weapon can only be clasped tight and swung, but a Kaz parasite is said to stimulate phantasms inhabiting a lumen wood." So while it stimulates phantasms inhabiting a lumen wood, it is not described as a phantasm itself. In fact, the description mentions none of the common verbiage that goes along with phantasms, such as augur, invertebrate, or familiar. This creature is defined as a parasite, which contradicts our current understanding of the role of a phantasm as an assistant to the Great One. It would have given me more pause if it was described as a symbiote, but parasite it is.